The Talksport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the Talksport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search Talksport Fan Network.
Hello Cherries fans, and welcome back to another edition of Cherry Picking. I believe this is our 102nd podcast of Cherry Picking, and tonight is another international special. It's called Good Evening Vietnam. Of course, my co-host for these international specials is Jonny Blair. Jonny, how are you? How are you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Just off the back of a few away wins, at Newcastle and Arsenal. So as Cherries, we can't really complain about being 8th in the league at the minute. And what a season. Brilliant.
Absolutely, yeah. So before Jonny explains the series of podcasts and what tonight's show is about, what's your thought on the management situation then at Bournemouth? Obviously, Andoni's now announced that he's leaving, and obviously it seems very, very close that Marco Rosa is going to come in and take over. So what's your take on that, Jonny?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one. Obviously, it's nice to get the new manager confirmed early, because when you're playing the waiting game is not good as a fan. We want to know, what's next season going to hold for us. You could kind of tell that Andoni came in and did an amazing job for us. We might get into Europe, and that's phenomenal for a club, of our size and history to even be believing that. Andoni's come in. He'll be a club legend no matter what, and he's made his decision to move on, and we wish him well. So whatever happens to Andoni in the future, he'll have a legacy at Dean Court. He'll probably always be welcome back, unless he comes back with an away team and wants to win. No chance. But yeah, and then a new manager, a German guy coming in that will, I think, shake things up a bit. Maybe quite used to European style of play. Obviously, having been a player and a manager in Austria and Germany, that'll give us something different. I think, the Spanish style that Andoni brought in is very continental, whereas we were always more of like, we're almost a bit more tactical, like British tactical system before, especially under Eddie, and even under Scotty Parker when he took us up. We were quite very tactically focused, almost. It's kind of nice to have a bit of European flair coming in. So we'll see. We'll just have to wait and see what happens to the new boss when he comes in, how things change, and whether he gets some new players. We'll probably need to make a few signings in the transfer window. Obviously losing Semenyo this season, it's difficult to replace a player of that quality.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've done a pretty good job with bringing Ryan in, or as we had a show recently. I don't know if you saw it on the Sidelines podcast. We had Peter Ardholt, who is a Brazilian football expert, come on. Apparently, it's pronounced Heian in Brazil.
Yeah.
But he's been a pretty good signing. But yeah, you're definitely right. They're definitely going to need to add to the squad, and obviously Marcus Senesi looks like
might be going. Yeah,
it looks like he is going now. So yeah, definitely going to be some add-ons to the squad, but I think it's going to be exciting still. I'm still very confident. Like I say, bit gutted at first, but the news was always going to come, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, excited still about the future, I think.
Definitely, and 5 games left, 4 or 5 games left, and let's see how far we can finish in the league. If we get I mean, if we finished 8th, that's a tremendous achievement. I would love it. Yeah, just to finish 8th just once, it would just be amazing. Let's see if we can do it.
Yeah, plenty to play for. But Jonny, do you want to explain what these series of shows that we're doing is all about?
Yeah, so I guess we've been doing them for a couple of years now. It probably goes back to like 2024. We started by doing the UK countries. Like we did Northern Ireland, we did Wales, we did Scotland, and you're picking AFC Bournemouth players that have represented or been linked to those countries down the years. So we had we did our Scottish squad with Ryan Christie, etc. in it. We did Wales with like Brooksy and Brian Stock. We did a Northern Ireland squad with George Best, Warren Feeney, players like that. And then we did a few other obscure ones. We did a France squad as well. And so we had, I think, the likes of Sylvain Distin in there. So today we're doing a very interesting one. It's called Good Evening Vietnam. And people watching or listening might be thinking, how do Cherries have a link to Vietnam? Well, here's the story. Is Warren Feeney is the current assistant manager of Hanoi FC in Vietnam's league with Harry Kewell. They're working together. Obviously, Harry Kewell, no link to the Cherries. I think he was at Leeds and maybe some other English clubs. Yeah, but so Warren Feeney, we'll say good evening, Warren Feeney, and good evening, Vietnam. And why is it called Good Evening Vietnam? Because we're doing Asian and Oceanian Cherries players. So any player that was maybe represented like Australia, like New Zealand, any Asian country, and even some Indian Ocean countries like the Seychelles will get a mention. And believe it or not, India and China will get a mention in this show with some interesting Cherries links.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an exciting one. So let's get started. Should we get started with one of the first choices? And it's someone that we all know very well, and is part of the coaching staff now at Newcastle, and that is goalkeeper Shwan Jalal.
Shwan Jalal, amazing. Yeah.
Interested to see that he's got different caps at different levels with 3 different international sides, Jonny, this one.
Yeah, a really curious one. He actually played for England C before he was even at the Cherries. I think we signed him. Did we get him? We got him actually on loan from Peterborough, I believe, in 2008. And then we signed him. And obviously he stayed with us right through. We were in the Championship as well. So he played League One. Probably played League One, League Two, and Championship, I would have thought, for us. He was in Championship, wasn't he?
He was in the Championship squad, but I'm not sure if he made an appearance in the Championship because I know we had who did we have? We had Camp come in, didn't he? We had Flhaven. I think Allsop might have made.
Arthur Boritz come in around that time as well, didn't he?
Boritz,
But yeah, great goalkeeper, tremendous hands, and a safe person you can rely on at that time. And yeah, I just noticed that, so he was actually born in England. He was born in Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually born in Iraq, but in Iraq, through the political system, there's actually another breakaway team there called Kurdistan, or Iraqi Kurdistan, and they have an international team that's not actually recognized by FIFA. So Shwan Jalal has basically got, youth caps for Iraq, a full cap for this unrecognized Kurdistan team, and an England C cap. So what a great guy to have as our goalkeeper in this team. Multiple experience, and as you said, 3 different divisions with the Cherries. He was in our squad at least. So yeah, I think a great asset for Asia in our Good Evening Vietnam team.
Yeah, no, definitely. Many great memories of Jalal, and obviously he'll always be remembered for coming up through the divisions with Bournemouth, obviously that -17 season, which is obviously all very, very familiar to many of us. So yeah, a great first name there. Let's start looking at some of the defenders now, and this name not many people may know or remember. I don't think he actually played while he was on loan at Bournemouth from Arsenal. But Nico here.
Yeah. I mean, this is a crazy one, isn't it? This is an oddball. Nico Yenaris. Actually, when I started researching him, I was shocked because he played for Arsenal, right? We got him on loan and didn't play him. Notts County got him on loan and played him, and then he had quite a career at Brentford. He had 144 league appearances for Brentford. Scored 12 goals from a fullback or defensive midfielder. And he was called up for China, and he's played for China 13 times at full level. And he's also played for England under 17s, England under 18s, and England under 19s. And he currently plays in China. So that is our Chinese cherry, Nico Yenaris. Yeah.
Kevin Harris, yeah. Yeah. Which year was it? First championship year he spent on loan? Was it?
Yeah, he came in 2013, 2014. I'm not even sure how that actually came about. It just says here, 28th of November 2013, Yenaris joined the Cherries on loan. He was an unused substitute for 3 matches, and that's it. So, yeah, I mean, of course, in those days, you only have had 3 subs. Obviously, after COVID, they increased it to 5.
Oh, no, Johnny, we were having 5 way before then.
Oh, was it? I thought it was after COVID. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
No, I think they increased it to 9, didn't they, after COVID? Because
right.
To 9.
No,
so yeah,
I just thought that he maybe was unlucky not to get an appearance because we were limited in those days. But yeah, maybe that's not the reason. I mean, Eddie Howe would have been manager, and maybe just didn't pick him. But certainly he had a good career at Brentford after that. And he's still playing. Ironically, he plays in China now. Shanghai Shenhua. He plays for.
Right, yeah.
And yeah, what is his link to China is that it must be his Chinese mother. Yeah. So he's born in England to a Greek Cypriot father and a Chinese mother. So he's basically 50% Chinese. There you go. Pity he didn't get a game for us, but he's part of the legacy and he's in the team.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, when I think of that time as well, Smithy was back, Frano was there, so there'd been some real competition for right back spot. And obviously, but you can play defensive midfield as well. And I think we had Sermon on loan at that point as well, and Harry Arter. So he had some real competition for the positions he played in while he was on loan with us. So, unfortunately, didn't get a first team appearance, but like you say, Johnny, part of the legacy, and he is our representation from China. So
yeah, I'd put him in a right back actually, because he can play full back or he can play defensive midfielder. But I think in this squad, probably put him in a right back. Yeah,
definitely. Should we take a look at the next one? Let's take a look at centre backs, and I think this will be our first representation from Australia.
I'd actually put Brad Smith. I'd put Brad Smith in at left back.
That's it, left back.
Left back. So that's our 2 fullbacks sorted. Brad Smith, very interesting career as well.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, he didn't make that many appearances for us, did he? I don't remember. It says here 5 appearances.
Yeah, I think it was only a handful of appearances that he made. He might have played the odd cup game as well, to be fair, but obviously he was up against a very established Charlie Daniels when he joined us.
Yeah.
And I think he had a couple of loan spells away from the club as well. I do remember him going to, I think it was Seattle Saunders, was it, in the MLS? Yeah. I think he went on loan too for a period of time, and I think he eventually signed for them on a permanent basis. But been capped a few times by Australia as well at full international level, and I think maybe at youth level as well.
Yeah, he does have a few caps. The other weird thing about some of these players is, Brad Smith was capped at under 17, under 19, under 20, all for England as well. So he was quite an exciting prospect when he was at Liverpool. Did we get him from Liverpool? Where did we get him from?
Liverpool, I think was it 8 million or something like that?
I actually can't remember the price, but if it was 8 million and then we didn't play him enough, it's a bit overpriced, isn't it? You'd have to say, but yeah, I mean, stick him in there as a left back. He's a proper Aussie. He was actually born in a place called Penrith in New South Wales, and I used to live about 10 miles from there. I used to live in Parramatta when I lived in Australia, which Penrith would have been our derby club when I watched the local team. So it's interesting, yeah, from Penrith in Australia to Boscombe, and now I guess he's in Cincinnati, according to the online sources. So he's in the USA now.
Ah, right, okay. Well, sorry, I do correct myself on the fee. 3 million.
3 million, yeah,
from Liverpool.
makes a bit more sense.
That does, yeah, 3 million.
He did actually play though for Liverpool in the Premier League. He did make a few appearances in the Premier League. So he was already a Premier League player when we signed him. So you would never know what the prospect was going to be, whether he was ever going to replace Charlie Daniels. But he was such a good player, Charlie Daniels. It would be hard to oust him out from a left back, you know.
Massively. Like I say, a lot of these players in this side will have had some real strong competition in the times that they played for Bournemouth. So our first centre-back then, now obviously that's our full-backs done. So let's have a look at our first centre-back. And again, from Australia, Adam Griffiths. Interesting one, this one, because I do remember Adam Griffiths, but I'll let you go first, Jonny.
Yeah, I also remember him. And the thing is, he scored a goal for us.
He did. I think it was against Brentford, and then
I was trying to remember. I was going to guess it was against Tranmere, but I just couldn't remember. Maybe it was against Brentford. Yeah. We'd have to check it.
Yeah.
But interesting about Adam Griffiths is that he also played in China. And he also played in, I believe, Saudi Arabia. Yeah, he's quite the journeyman, and he was at Brentford as well. You know, so there's a lot of overlaps with these players. You know, so far it's only a fourth player in the team, and we've got the 2 Brentford links. We've got the Australian link. We've got the Chinese link, and obviously he's capped at full level as well. So Adam Griffiths is a full international.
Yes.
So yeah, and he's now in management, I believe. Yeah,
he's in management in the Australian A League, I believe.
A-League, yeah.
I think he may have been with Sydney at one point.
Yeah, it was Manly United, which are based in Sydney, and then it's also Perth Glory.
Perth Glory, that's the other one. Well, his goal for Bournemouth, Jonny, we were both wrong. It was actually Barnsley.
Oh, was it? Okay.
It was a header.
I'm sure I was at that game. I couldn't, for the life of me, I couldn't remember who it was against. But
I remember really enjoying.
It was a header, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a header equaliser, and I remember really enjoying watching him play and hoping that he would sign. But obviously, he then went permanently to Brentford. I think he was only on a short contract with us. I think maybe half the season, if that, maybe monthly contracts he was signing at the time, something like that. But anyway, Brentford eventually signed him, and I think he might have actually scored against us as well. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, he probably did. Yeah.
But yeah, a very interesting choice. Again, another one from Australia. I'll have to try and look up if he did score against us. But let's have a look at our second centre back, and again, another one from down under. And that is Scott Guyat. Yeah,
so we're basically sticking the Aussies in defence here, hoping they'll keep the attackers at bay. 2 seasons, I think, for Scott Guyat at the Cherries. He was there obviously when we were down in the second league. It would have been League 1 and League 2, wouldn't it?
I think he was with us the -17 season. I think he was actually signed by Kevin Bond, if I remember rightly, and on a free transfer because he did represent Yeovil Town, I think, before Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And then I think he was with us during the promotion season after the -17 season. Then I think he was released, I think.
Yeah, he ended up at Dorchester after that.
Yes.
Yeah, but curiously about Guyat is he was born in England, but he classed himself as Australian because of his parents. And the other thing is he actually played in the playoff final. I'm just checking here. May 2007, he played for Yeovil. in a playoff final against Blackpool, and officially he was the first Australian to play at the new Wembley. Yeah.
Well, there
So
you go.
that was a year before he was at the Cherries. That was May 2007. So there we go. That's Scott.
Yeah, that's an interesting fact. I never knew that. So, because 2007, that would have been the first playoffs Wembley probably would have held around that season. 2007.
Reopened after the Millennium Stadium was used, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was rebuilt and then it reopened about 07 probably. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the Millennium Stadium playoff shirt which we've got on here. So Millennium Stadium. Yeah, a good stadium. Good stadium for football, that one. Let's take a look at one of our first midfielders. Jem Karacan, Turkish midfielder who I believe played for us on loan from Reading, if memory serves.
Yeah, 13 appearances for the Cherries, scored 1 goal, weighed in with a goal. Born in Catford in London, but ended up playing for Galatasaray because, as his name suggests and as he looks like, he's Turkish. And he played for the Turkish youth team. He captained the under-21s, and he also played for a Turkey team called the Turkey A2, which I guess is something like a B team. So very interesting career. Also was at Millwall and also was down under. He played for a team in Australia called Central Coast Mariners.
Oh, yes.
Jem Karacan. Who was his goal against? Do you remember that?
No,
I'd have to check that.
I'm trying to think. Was that at home?
I don't remember it, actually. I don't remember his goal, but he weighed in with a goal.
Okay.
So
yes. Yeah.
Be
interesting to know who he scored against.
Somebody watching might know, and you can put a comment,
put a comment in because I've got nothing to hand from that era.
Actually, I've got it here that he scored 2 goals. He scored 1 in the league and 1 in the cup. Is that the FA Cup or the League Cup? That's he scored in the FA Cup. He scored for us in the FA Cup. Can't for the life of me remember who that was against.
Okay. Well, that shirt is taking me back to 2005-06.
Let me check. 7-08. It's 2007, 2008.
2007, 2008. Right. Okay.
Yeah, that was one of our. What's that? That was the season before the -17, wasn't it? That we were on minus. Did we get -10 deducted that year?
Yes, because was it 10? Yes, it was 10 points because we were okay, and then they took the 10 points off, and then we were in a relegation battle, and that's when we went down at Carlisle. I think last day of the season we got a draw at Carlisle when we needed to win to stay up. But
Pittman scored.
Yes, I think it was 1-1. I think at Carlisle.
Yeah, so it was not a bad result at the time, but we needed to win to stay up. So.
So that's from that era then, but. Fantastic away shirt. I do have that one somewhere. I must try.
Yeah, like quite a golden, almost like a Wolves colour.
Yes, yeah. I think it was kind of known as the Wolves third strip at the time. Fantastic strip, which I say. I mean, I've got the home version of it out. That's
yeah.
But that one I have got somewhere. I must dig it out. So that's our first midfielder, and he represents Turkey in this side. Let's have a look at our next choice. Very interesting one, this one. Now, I've put a very tiny picture of him there playing for Bournemouth in a pre-season friendly, but never ever made a first team appearance. But Jonny, what's your knowledge on this guy?
Yeah, I mean, he's a defensive midfielder. He's capped at full level by Saudi Arabia, which is a staggering stat. If you went to Dean Court on a Saturday afternoon and asked people, can you name a Bournemouth player that played for Saudi Arabia national team, people would think that we're having a laugh, but we're not. So it's our second Jamal. It's Swan Jalal, and this is Jamal. Not exactly the same spelling, but both have that kind of Middle Eastern link to them. Saudi Arabian international. The other thing which is interesting about him is he was actually born in Bournemouth, so he's a local lad. Born in Bournemouth, played for Wimborne Town as a youth. Was at the Cherries as a youth, but never cracked on, and he ended up just going to Saudi Arabia and playing over there. who knows? Maybe he's probably played with Ronaldo or against Ronaldo, because he was in Saudi Arabia as recently as 2024 in the league. So Ronaldo would have already been playing there. So it's possible that he's played against Ronaldo. And his senior debut for his country, Saudi Arabia, was against Jordan, and Saudi Arabia won 2-1.
Right. Okay. Wow. So it's amazing when we do these, and when you send me the research you do, sometimes I'm sort of like, wow, never knew a Cherries connection represented that country. And that's the really interesting thing when we do these kind of podcasts, is that, you learn so much about, players that have played for countries that you would never have any idea of, and Jamal is one of those for me. So defensive midfielder, like you say. But let's have a look for another midfielder, should I say. And this is a very interesting one. David Chadwick. I believe he also played for the Saints, but was qualified to play for India, Jonny.
Yeah, I mean, this is before my time, so I don't claim to be an expert on Dave Chadwick. Probably some of you watching remember him playing. He was at the Cherries between 1972 and 1974. So I can't really judge how he was as a player. It's noted that he was a winger, and he has 4 goals in 36 games, which is a pretty decent return for a winger, and born in India. So if India had come calling, he would have got a full cap for them. But maybe they focused on cricket and they never gave him a bell, So very interesting career as well. He also traveled quite a bit. He ended up in the USA.
Yeah.
Later than that,
he coached out there as well, didn't he? Did he coach in America?
Yeah. He's done some coaching in US, and yeah, what an interesting life. A guy born in India, and that played for the Cherries. It's really crazy when you get that sort of stat. You ask anyone, that supported the Cherries for their whole life, name an Indian born Cherries player, and they'll be on Google, they'll be on Wikipedia trying to find out who it is. Ask ChatGPT, and then you just come and watch our show and we tell you what's Dave Chadwick. There he is.
An excellent one. Excellent
You can probably cook us up a curry or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, excellent bit of research there. And I think he might have had a bit of an injury hit spell while he was at Bournemouth.
Right.
I can't be 100% certain on that, but like Jonny said, if you watching, you remember David Chadwick, got any memories, do pop them into the comments below, because it'd be great to hear from you. Right, another midfielder, and an interesting one now, Kevin Betsy.
Yeah, another bit of an Indian link by the fact that he's born on an island in the Indian Ocean. So we could easily have snuck him into the African squad as well, but we haven't done Africa yet. And also, it's nice to put an islander into our Asian team. So this, because there are lots of beautiful islands in Asia. We know, like Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, etc. So let's stick Betsy in Seychelles in the Indian Ocean, and he has 7 full level caps for Seychelles and scored a goal for them. So that's another wow. Name a Cherries player that scored for the Seychelles, and it's Kevin Betsy. And also, he's capped by England's C team as well. So I don't know. Do you remember him, Matt? Do you remember Kevin Betsy?
I remember when he came in. I think he came in on loan.
Mm-hmm. A lot of these are loanees actually in this squad today, aren't there? There's quite a lot of loanees.
There's quite a lot of loanees in this one. There's quite a lot of goalkeepers as well, which people will see towards the end. But coming on loan. I remember I think he was on loan. Was it sort of like 99, sort of around then?
It's 1999. Another interesting fact is he came on loan from Fulham, right? Now, at the time, Fulham were either Championship or Premier League, and we would have been.
I think they just got promoted, Jonny. I think they just got promoted the season before, and that's when Keegan was there. Ray Wilkins, Keegan. And Kevin Betsy came on loan to us because I remember, I think we had squad numbers then. For some reason, I think he had the squad number 29, but I might be wrong. And he was very, very highly rated when he came on loan to us, but I don't think he really made much impact from memory.
He's the first Seychelles player to have played in the Premier League. So he made Premier League appearance for Fulham, and he was the first one from his nation to do that.
Wow.
So that's quite another fact. And he had a bit of a career after us as well. He was at Barnsley, Bristol City, Yeovil. He was also at Wycombe and Woking. Quite a long career, really. I think about 20 years. Going around the clubs, basically.
Yeah, I mean, the picture that's there, obviously, of him in his Fulham kit, again, it's been very hard for me to find pictures of these players in Bournemouth kits, mainly because, like Johnny's just said, most of them's loan players. But
you would have got them in for a few days or a few months max, and maybe like you'd have to get an old Daily Echo to find a picture of them. You know, the day we signed them, it'd be on the back page of the Echo, and that would be all you have, right?
Yeah. Something like that, Johnny. Yeah, definitely. And the picture there is actually him scoring for the Seychelles.
Yeah.
That was the only picture I could find of him in his international kit. But he's into coaching now. He's coaching. I think he's been involved in the England youth setups.
Right, okay.
Involved at Arsenal in their academy. And I think he was manager of Crawley for a short spell as well. Yeah. So he's into management as well. I think he's he's had some quite high profile youth jobs within coaching. So yeah, again, another interesting name that I remember from the past. So yeah, no, this has been excellent so far. But let's have a look at I think our forward line now.
Yeah.
And our first one is someone that's current in our squad and is a full Turkish international.
Yeah, Nacional. Obviously came in. He can hit the odd free kick. He hasn't lit the Premier League on fire like maybe we expected, but he's a squad player and he's playing his part at the moment. So it's nice to have a current player in, because I think that's our first current player, isn't it? Is it?
I think it's our first current player. Yes, it is our first current player. We do have another current player, but this is our first one.
Yeah, in the Asian team. So obviously Turkey, I think that it's another Turkish link. So we've got Karakan and Unal can, link together, maybe cook up a kebab. So it's quite a team of food with the curries from India, the Chinese takeaway, and then we've got the kebab kings here. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you say, I suppose he's got some real competition in this squad at the minute, isn't he? Obviously, Evanilson, Krupi,
Ryan.
Ryan, there's players that can play in that sort of centre role, but I think Unal does give us something a little bit different. He offers something different, and like you say, he can score a free kick, can't he? So
yeah,
it's great to have someone in the current side anyway. Let's take a look at our next guy up front. And he played for us while we actually were wearing this shirt. And that is Mr. Scott McDonald, who played for Bournemouth on loan from Southampton. Did come on as a sub in the playoff final, if memory serves me right. But yeah, another interesting name, Johnny, in this squad.
And another Aussie. Is that our fourth? I think that's our fourth Australian. And yeah, he also played for a team down the road, which we don't want to talk about. He was also at Celtic and Millwall. Quite a career, really. 26 full level caps. I wonder, did he play in the World Cup? He must have done, or at least he was in a World Cup squad.
I think he was in a World Cup squad, Johnny, if memory serves me right.
Yeah.
I think while he was at Celtic. Might have been the two.
Yes, he was in the squad, but it looks like he didn't actually make a World Cup appearance, but he was certainly in the squad. So yeah, that's Scott. Actually interesting. He is a striker, but he didn't actually score an international goal in 26 caps at full level.
Wow.
So that's
A lot of
unusual.
Yeah, that's a lot of caps for a striker not to score. I mean,
Yeah,
even
maybe he was used in a different position, or maybe Australia were playing tough games. But you would have thought, like when Australia play, the likes of like some of the teams down there, Papua New Guinea, and Solomon Islands, etc. You would have thought it's quite easy to score for Australia. I would have thought, but wasn't to be. But yeah, stick him in our squad and stick him next to you now and see if he can, bag a few goals for us here.
Yeah, I think that'd be a case of big man, little man with these two. Because I think if I remember rightly, Scott was quite short.
Yeah.
But yes, yeah, absolutely fantastic. Great memory there, Scott McDonald, from that sort of playoff season, 2003 playoff final. Yeah, and he's made our squad. I think this is where things go a little bit different now. That's 11 players we've done.
Right.
And now you will start to notice the in safe hands in brackets added to the title, because the rest of our choices, the rest of that we've managed to find from these regions are goalkeepers. So let's start.
Basically, all our subs are goalkeepers, Matt. You're telling me all our subs are keepers.
All our subs are goalkeepers. So if we get a goalkeeping crisis, we're sorted. But if we need to make a change up front, or think we need to, pack out the midfield a bit more, we might be in a bit of trouble. But let's have a look at our first one. And that's Jordan Holmes, who actually made a few appearances for Bournemouth on the bench in the Premier League. I think he actually made the bench at Old Trafford one year. But yes, again, another Aussie, Jonny.
Yeah, I think the fact that we're having all these keepers coming in and Aussies, it's quite ironic, because do you remember when we did the Wales Cherries squad, we couldn't find a Welsh goalkeeper that had played for the Cherries. I even emailed some of the Welsh football experts and asked them, can you check the history of Wales if we have a goalkeeper that's ever made an appearance or something, at Dean Court or even been on the books? And the Welsh football experts were bamboozled. They couldn't find one either. So to have no Welsh goalkeepers in our Wales team, I think we ended up putting Gareth Stewart in nets or something, didn't we?
We put Mark Ovendale in because he played for Barry Town in Wales.
That's it. Yeah. So we sort of cheated there. But here, with no need to cheat here. Jordan Holmes, full-fledged Aussie. No full level caps as far as I can tell, but he was capped 7 times for the under-20s team and 5 times for the Australian under-23s team. He played in Scotland, he played in Australia, and he obviously played in England for ourselves, Weymouth, Eastbourne, and Ebbsfleet United.
Yeah, I think at Ebbsfleet United, I think he had a bit of a permanent spell there. I think the Weymouth and the other one was loan deals while he was at Bournemouth, weren't they? And the one was a permanent one where he played for a little while, but now he's back out in the A-League, and I'm just trying to think which team it is he's playing for in Australia in the A-League. Yeah,
I've just found out another fact about him. He's actually he's played in the Olympics. He actually he played in the Olympics, 2020 Olympics, for the Australian Olympics men's team.
Wow, okay, I didn't know that.
There you go, yeah.
Excellent. He's definitely out in the A-League now, back out in Australia. I can't remember who he plays for, but yes, another one from Australia that's made the squad.
Yeah, and a Sydney sider as well. He's from Sydney. A few of the guys that are Australian, they came from Sydney. And I do know there is a Sydney Bournemouth supporters club, and they often, go and meet up in a bar in Sydney to watch the game, together.
Yeah, Nick runs that. I'm sure you've heard of Jonny.
Yeah, I've been on his show actually. They had me on their show as well. So yeah, big shout out to Nick. Maybe Nick will get some of these boys in, get some of the Cherries Australian boys, get them in the show.
I'll have to ask him. He did message me this morning, actually. Nick, I do speak to him from time to time, and I don't know, and anybody that's watching may not have seen, but there is a new podcast out. It's called On the Sidelines with Matt and Paul, and my co-host Paul is based in Australia, and he recently has been presented with a Australian AFC Bournemouth Sydney supporters group scarf, which he now hangs up in his background when we do our shows. So if you haven't checked it out and you're watching this one, it is on the channel. It's called On the Sidelines. It goes out live every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. UK time. And we discuss many things, not only just cherries, but we also discuss Australian football, international football, football from across the EFL, Premier League, whatever sort of topics we decide to discuss. We discuss it each Saturday morning at 8 a.m. So do check that out. That's me plugging that one. Let's carry on, Jonny. Let's move on to our next goalkeeper. And a goalkeeper who I had to struggle to. I mean, like I said earlier, I've been struggling to find photos, and I don't know if anybody's going to be able to pick this one out. But what I'll do is I'll find the page anyway in this old program from Bournemouth versus Blackpool in August 2001. So that would have been when we were playing at Dorchester Town at the time, the Old Avenue Stadium. Now that's the only picture on the screen at the minute that I could find. But for those that might be able to see, he's, I don't know, is the light there? He's actually pictured there in this old team photo from 2001-2002 season. As you can notice, it's been taken in a field because obviously we didn't have a stadium built at the time. But that was the only photo of him in a Bournemouth shirt I could find. I mean, I could have spent hours going through programs. I'm sure I would have found one somewhere, but that's the only one I could find without digging every single program that I own out. But interesting one, this choice, Jonny. Never made a first team appearance for Bournemouth, but did play in the youth team. But yeah, what facts have you got on this guy?
Well, I mean, it's amazing that we've got all these Australian goalkeepers. It's like, and he's not the last one on the list, Dimitris. Interesting name. And when I did a wee bit of research, because it sounds like a Greek name, right? So he's from Australia. He is Australian, but he's got some Greek heritage, some like Greek history. So yeah, he has a bit of Greek history, Matt. And because of that, he ended up playing for Panathinaikos as well.
Yes.
So he's also played in the Republic of Ireland for Galway United, which I find quite odd because it's not every day you'd have an Australian goalkeeper playing in Galway. And he played in Cyprus, in Wales, and also his native Australia. He played for a few teams down under as well. So that's Dimitris. There's not really too much more to know about him. So get in touch if you have any cool facts about Dimitris.
Yeah. At the time when he was at the club, I think he was playing in the youth team alongside another highly rated goalkeeper from Canada. And his name was Simon Rayner. So you never know. As we continue to do these international shows, Simon may crop up in one of them. Let's have a look at our next one, which is someone else from our current squad. He's actually out on loan in Poland, and that's Alex Paulson.
Yeah, a few interesting ones here. I mean, the first thing is, I believe he's our first or only New Zealand player ever. Matt, would you say? Probably.
I would say, yeah, I can't think of any off the top of my head, Jonny.
Yeah. Well, if we had others, we would put them in the squad probably. So, so basically, our first New Zealand, our first Kiwi, if you like, born in New Zealand, played for Wellington Phoenix Reserves, played for Auckland FC as well. We took him in and didn't really use him, so we kind of loaned him out to Lechia Gdańsk in Poland, where he's currently playing. I believe he plays almost every week for them, which is ironic because not only do I live in Poland at the minute, but I met the manager of Lechia Gdańsk about 2 months ago in a bar and was drinking Guinness with him. Yeah, John Carver is actually the Lechia Gdańsk
Is he?
manager.
He was the
Yeah,
assistant manager at Newcastle
at
for a long
Newcastle.
time.
Yeah, so John's a great guy. He was talking football to me. We sat in the bar and watched a match together, and he was just taking a break from his training schedule at Legia Gdańsk. And I mentioned Alex Paulson to him, and he said, "Yeah, he's our number one keeper at the minute." So it's interesting. He's ended up becoming a number one keeper in Poland. Maybe he'll sign for them permanently. I don't know whether we really need him. We'll just have to see. We'll have to wait till this end of the season to know what's happening with him.
Yeah, I think for this guy, it's been important that rather than staying at Bournemouth and sitting on the bench, that because of his age, it's important that he plays games and develops. I think we've got more to see from this guy at Bournemouth.
Yeah, the other thing is, you would imagine he would play in the World Cup this year because New Zealand are in it. So I've just looked at his caps. He's got 6 full level caps. So you would imagine he would be in the top 3 keepers to be in that squad.
You'd imagine him to be selected, wouldn't you? Definitely.
Yeah, well, if he's playing week in, week out, and he's keeping the odd clean sheet, he might even play in the World Cup, not just a squad member, but we'll see.
Yeah, it'd be great to see that. Be definitely great to see that. And obviously, the World Cup will be starting to come closer and closer each week, and we're going to get more excited about it. And we're going to see a few cherries at this World Cup, and some former cherries as well. So it's going to be an interesting one. So that's Alex Paulson. And let's go for the next one. Again, another Aussie, Adam Federici. Yes, understudy to Boric when he first come in. Made a few first team appearances, and has been capped by Australia quite a few times from what I can remember, Jonny.
Yeah, it's so interesting that there are so many Australian goalkeepers in this, squad that we've selected here. Yeah, and this guy also from New South Wales in Australia. So he's from a place called Nowra, Nowra. So we could have sneaked him in the Wales team if we cheated because he's from New South Wales. But yeah, Adam, full Aussie international. He was at Bristol City and Southend as well. We got him from Reading. Yeah, I think it was Reading, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think he came from Reading, if I remember rightly. I think he played for Reading in the Premier League as well, if my memory's right.
Yep, yeah, he did indeed. And also, I believe he was he the goalkeeper when we beat Preston on penalties in the League Cup? I'd have to check it actually.
Ooh.
I was at the game. We knocked Preston out of the League Cup in our first Premier League season, and I believe that Federici was the keeper that season.
I remember playing when we played Preston in the League Cup.
Yeah,
wasn't that our second season?
It was our first season in the Premier League, Matt. I remember it because I went to Man City away and Preston away around the same time. We lost 5-1 at Man City when we just got promoted, and Glenn Murray scored. And around the same time, we drew 2-2 at Preston in the League Cup, and we beat them on penalties. I'm nearly sure it was Federici that saved the penalties that night. Yeah,
it probably would have been because Eddie did have, while he was at Bournemouth, he did have a habit of playing the number 2 in the cup games, didn't he? So you are probably right on that one. Yeah, you're right on that one. Yeah, God, that's a game I can't remember. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I was at it. So, when you're at a game, your memory sticks. And I do remember, but the penalties were at the other end. So we were in the away end, obviously here at Deepdale. The penalties were all taken at the other end. So it was like quite hard to see, from there. But we beat them on penalties, and they had their fans behind that, you see. So it's always difficult when you win a penalty shootout away with the away fan, or the home fans, all being vociferous and noisy in there. So yeah, Federici kept them out that night.
Well, there you go. Well, he's in the squad. But let's see if he makes the number 1 when we reveal the team at the end, because we've got a bit of a big selection dilemma here for goalkeeper. Let's have a look at another name then. And this one is one that many people won't remember or may remember. But again, another Aussie, and that's Andy Petterson. do remember him coming in, Johnny, but I can't remember the reason why he came in. I think it might have been an emergency goalkeeper loan why he came in,
I
possibly.
do remember Neil Moss was injured for there was quite a season where Mossy would get injured and Gareth Stewart. Those are the two keepers around that time. I don't
Was
remember.
this the season when we had like Chris Tardif and we had
Yeah, Tardif was there as well. You're right. Yeah.
several goalkeepers we had that season? That was the season when I think Marcus Browning had to do a half in goal as well.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So I think we're going back 2002, 2003. I think
around then. Yeah. So obviously Andy came in around that time, and did he actually play for us, Matt?
No,
not even friendly or something. No.
I think he literally come in on an emergency loan deal.
He was on the bench then. Basically, he was our sub keeper and just never got on.
Yeah. I think it might have only been for a couple of games, and then he was gone again. I think he did have a bit of an affiliation with Charlton Athletic as well as Pompey.
Yeah, most of his league appearances were actually at Charlton.
Right. Okay.
85 appearances for Charlton.
Right. Okay. I got a funny feeling. Was he at Charlton when they got promoted to the Premier League as well? Because was he understanding to their goalkeeper? Who was their goalkeeper when they got promoted?
Oh, it was the Irish guy. Dean Kiley. I think it was Dean Kiley, wasn't it?
No, there's another guy I'm thinking of.
I don't know then.
Yeah, because he actually got linked to Bournemouth at one point after
I don't know it then. It must.
It's whoever played in goal for Charlton in that famous playoff final. Was it against Sunderland when it was 3-3, and then I think Steve Jones scored a penalty in the penalty shootout?
Okay, I would have thought it was Dean Kiley, but yeah.
Yeah, I might be wrong, but I forget the guy's name. But anyway, sorry, back to you.
Yeah, so Pettersson, I mean, it's crazy to have another Australian goalkeeper in there, but you know that we're picking players that fit the bill. Basically, they're Oceanian or Asian players that we had, and so why not just have a full bench full of goalkeepers that never even played for us? It's staggering, isn't it? So there we go, Andy Pettersson.
Well, that completes the squad. That completes the squad. So we're going to look, before we reveal the team selection, which I don't think is going to be surprising. The only surprise that's going to be in there is who's got the goalkeeper spot. But Johnny, you've picked a management duo, which you touched on briefly. Well, you touched on the manager briefly at the start, but this is the management duo you've picked. Take it away, mate. Obviously, Warren Feeney, but why is Bestie with him?
Yeah, George Best is an absolute journeyman. You know, people look at him as, you know, he was at Man United and Hibs and Fulham, but he played in South Africa, he played in Australia, he played in Hong Kong, top division, and he played in USA. He's one of the rare cherries that's played professional football on 5 continents, right? Ooh. So he could work his way into any of these squads, of course. But we might as well stick him in as the management duo with his fellow Northern Irishman, Warren Feeney, because Warren is not only saying good evening Vietnam, he's saying good morning Vietnam. He lives in Hanoi. He's out working as the coach, the assistant. He's assistant manager actually to Harry Kewell at Hanoi FC, which is a professional Vietnamese team in the V League, the top division. So we got Warren Feeney at the helm. And then George Best to give him that bit of international experience, and obviously Bestie is our Hong Kong connection here as well. I think we had a Chinese connection earlier, but now we've got stick Bestie in with Warren Feeney and let them manage this Asian team, and that would be you know, these are all fantasy stories we concoct here. This is never going to happen. But imagine if that team was put together, 11 players, and these two were managing it. That would be quite a match to watch, I think, because you know, Bestie could put a bit of spirit and skill in, and Feeney with his grit and hard-working ethos, you know. So it'd be nice to see. So there's our Northern Irish management duo of a Vietnamese, Asian, Oceanian, Australasian squad. Yeah,
Smash in. Well, there you go. So if you're thinking why have we chosen these as the management duo, there's your reason. So let's see then who makes the 11. I think it's going to be a little bit obvious, but let's see who we think that these two would pick in goal. And this is the team lineup. What do you reckon to the team lineup, Jonny? Obviously, I know between defence, midfield, and forward line, we didn't have much of selection dilemma. But Federici, out of all the goalkeepers, is that something you'd agree with?
Yeah, I think it's because he has Premier League experience. Shwan Jalal would have been my favourite keeper, just from the memories of watching him. But Shwan Jalal was in the lower divisions with us, whereas Federici did actually play top flight, and he's obviously he's got a lot of caps, and he's a bit more experienced. So I would go with Federici, but obviously it's not as if we're going to have a problem or a goalkeeping crisis here, because we've got about six or seven keepers or something in the squad.
About that, yeah.
Yeah, so unbelievable, but a nice little mixed squad there. We've got a mix of China, India, and of course like the Seychelles with Betsy in it. So
Saudi Arabia. So there's a lot of representation there from that part of the world.
Yeah, crazy team, really.
Crazy team. Well, I wonder how they would fare if they were put against our Wales team or our Scotland team or our Republic of Ireland team, Northern Ireland team, or even our French team. It would be interesting to see how they would fare. But that wraps that up, really, for this one. But we will be back soon, Jonny, won't we? We will be back with another Cherry Picking International podcast before the World Cup. And Jonny, I'll let you take it with who we're going to do next.
Yeah, so I think the World Cup fever always kind of starts at the end of the season when the World Cup is on. Obviously, this year could be a bit controversial because of USA are hosting it with Mexico and Canada. But as soon as the ball is kicked and the World Cup starts, we'd all be buzzing for it. We'd all be watching it. As a Northern Ireland fan, we're not in it. Unfortunately, we lost to Italy, who then lost to Bosnia in the playoff. But I'll be watching it from a neutral point of view and see who could win it, whether it's Curacao or England to take the title. Yeah, it could be Cape Verde or Jordan. So I think because the World Cup is coming soon, I think it's about time we did our Cherries England squad. That's the one we haven't done yet. So let's look through the history of the English players we've had. You'll get players like Darren Anderton, Rio Ferdinand, some massive England internationals, David James, current day Alex Scott, and Lewis Cook. So a lot of a lot to think about for ahead of the World Cup. So we'll get our Cherries Lions squad out, and we'll probably do that end of May, start of June.
Yes, absolutely. That's what we will do. So for myself and Jonny, thank you very much for joining us. Do keep an eye out on the channel. If you haven't already, do please give this show a like. Do give this channel a subscribe as well. And we will be back, like Jonny said, next time with our Cherry Lions.
See you next time, everyone.
Yes, guys.
Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the Talksport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search Talksport Fan Network.
I should be like you, Mel.